Now, the third principle of game design, right? Create rapid and robust controls. Now, what does this mean? This essentially means that the user should never feel within the experience about taking the wrong step. What I mean by that is, like, for example, so now you thought that, okay, finding a bike is a need, right? So essentially, should we only show bikes which are in the walkable area? Should we not show those bikes which are not in the walkable areas? Because by mistake, if the customer thought that this is the right route and they use the application a certain way and they go on a longer path, it's a bad experience. It's an experience that the product should curtail. The product should tell you that these are the 5 most optimal bikes around you which you should visit for. So it's a robust control that I will not stray away and essentially try to discover it my way and try to figure out. A lot of times what happens, I'll give you a very simple example of this. A lot of times whenever you're booking an Uber, and if it's in a very small localized place, you are never able to put the right start destination, and that always leads to problems, right? That's not a robust control. Or, for example, you're using Gmail. You used a shortcut, and those shortcuts kind of eventually did something like, for example, you wanted to create a new draft, and the Gmail starts hanging, and you click on draft, and multiple times the draft opens up. That's not a robust control. That's not an experience that you would ideally want to give your user, right? So ideally, you need to start building something. You need to focus on the very smallest details and say that while I'm using this feature, right, what is the most appropriate way to make it very robust? The most appropriate way to make it robust is do something from the product layer itself, right? Say that probably these are the 5 things, 5 places which I essentially need to show. I don't want to show anything else, right? So that there is limited discovery for the customer to essentially move to the place where they want to go. Make sense? यहां तक बात समझ में आई? What I mean by create rapid and robust controls, right? So that the customer is not able to make wrong decisions, and the customer is never wrong, right? It is how you built the product which essentially led you there. Make sense? The third principle of game design is that you should create rapid and robust controls where people are not able to make poor choices. Make sense? So Sahil, robust ka funda basically ye hota hai ki while I am using the app, if I do some kind of an experience, right, it should not treat me or take me to a point, right, where I do something out of the ordinary, which was not designed by the flow that I wanted them to use. Like, for example, even if you make something like an app where you show all the locations, all the bikes everywhere somewhere, they can still get a bike, right? But it is not robust, because the point is, if they take a bike which is like very far away from them, even though it's their mistake, right, they would essentially pin it on the app saying that you showed us that app. You showed us that destination, right? So you need to create robust controls that you know that I can control the outcome, at least the upcoming outcome, very clearly, that the customer would not be able to say that. Make sense? Awesome. Okay. Second example, we might have to build something like language change. Since this should be auto-enabled, we don't want the user to discover and make a mistake, right? What I mean by that is, while you are essentially moving to another country and you are essentially putting a number, right, should we automatically change the language to a new language? I don't know, right? I don't know. But should we do that as an experiment? This is the thought, the principle of game design puts in your head, saying that if I want to make it robust, the ideal way is that they should be able to understand the language in which they are comfortable with, right? So why do I essentially have to show them English, right? And if I make it that robust, right, and probably give them a switch to essentially move back to English again, right? But it's a robust control where you automatically try to figure out, this is the way that probably they're going to think, and this is the way they're going to. Can we say that we are controlling? Absolutely, we are. That is what we are doing. But we are using it based on the hypothesis that we have built across. Absolutely, right? So we automatically figured out that probably if you are an Arabic guy, you would ideally need Arabic as a language, right? 99% of the chances, 95% of the chances, that's going to be true, right? But for 5% of the chances, maybe it's not. But are we able to build something that is valuable for 95% of the users? That's the third principle of game design, right? Which is like, can you make it robust, right? And simultaneously, you start thinking on the lines that, can I make a switching behavior also, right? That tomorrow, if they essentially want to switch, they can switch, right? So they can do that. But if you hadn't thought about this principle in the first place, you probably would have thought, okay, my design should have a language changing button. But while you thought that you're building robust controls, you said no, it's not just about putting a language, it's a button. It's also about showing the first experience that they essentially want to have, right? Is it like how we are clear cut direction to users from? Yes, something like that, right? But ध्यान से समझो मेरी बात को. What I'm trying to put across to you guys is, if you are thinking on these principles, these questions will start coming to your head, and your product sense will automatically start improving. If these principles are not there, then you will start thinking on the lines of, okay, language change is something that we need, obviously we need, right? So can we build some kind of a UI in which they can toggle, right? I'm saying just not stop there, go one step behind and say that probably that's good, right? But should we essentially start off by saying that I will show you your preferred language? That is being robust. बात समझ में आई, डिफरेंस समझ में आया? Now the fourth principle of game design, which is going to be super amazing, right? The fourth principle is, we play with toys, but we play games. Again, hear it clearly, we play with toys, but we play games. You play football as a game, but you play with the ball. Understood? There is a difference between a toy and a game. ये बात समझ में आती है? ये बात क्लियर है? I'll repeat again. We play with toys, but we play games. ये aligned है? यहां तक बात समझ में? I'll give you an example. You play cricket, but you play with a bat and ball. We play with toys, but we play games, right? So the fourth principle of game design is, make fun toys and combine them into games, right? Now, based on those pain points and the solutions presented, can we shape solutions into toys? Number one, so we talked about a solution called localization, which is essentially figuring out that basically, can I book a bike in the local area? And essentially that I want to do something on localization. So now you started thinking about, okay, if I have to make this experience slightly better and easy to consume, can I make it like a toy, right? Can I integrate something like a WhatsApp booking process? And through WhatsApp itself, mujhe karna hai, mujhe kuch banana hi nahi hai, and I essentially do that, and people can do it on WhatsApp itself, because like 95% of the world uses WhatsApp. Maybe I don't even need an app. I'm just putting forward ideas in front of you, right? High impact use case. And it's like a toy. You are just going, I need a bike. The bot understands. It shows you the API. कि हाँ ये सारी अवेलेबल है ये आसपास के एरिया में. You said this is the one I want. Done. Booking done. Payment होगी. Booking done. Is the toy a bike here? No, it's the bike riding experience, because we are building a app, which, or probably an experience, which essentially helps people to rent bikes, right? The toy is not the bike here. Toy can be a bike. You build something hardware and etc. But I'm just talking about the booking experience here. Like for example, I said, instead of even coming into the or just logging into the app, I don't even tell you what to book and what not to book. I just open a page like a bot, where it essentially asks you, where do you want to go? Right, that's one. What kind of experience do you want? Okay, then what is, or maybe all next one or two more questions. How many people are there? How many bikes do you need? And just 2-3 questions, and essentially tells you, okay, make this payment and done, right? Now that is an experience. That's a wow experience, right? I didn't have to do anything. I was just told to do these 3 steps, right? And that's like a toy that every time I can play with the bot, right? Okay, then there's a scenario that I can say, okay, I need 10 bikes, but I probably need it from 3 different positions. Can the bot handle that? So the customer will start thinking on those lines, in how many ways can this bot help me, right? And they will start interacting with the bot. They will never go to another app. They would say, I have a bot which essentially talks to me and solves all my problems, right? So let me just figure out what the bot can do. That's why it happened with ChatGPT, right? They built something like an amazing bot, and everybody started playing it with it like a toy, right? So we can do bunch of things, right? We can do all of those things. Payment methods, build local payment methods, but can we also build something like someone else to pay for us, right? Like for example, you are in a country like Estonia and you want to buy something, and you essentially are not able to use the local currency. Can I build something on those lines which can allow somebody else to pay for us, who is a local from there? That's also like a toy. Essentially, I just have to send a link and it tells me all the details. All I'm trying to put across is, how do you build these experiences where people can play with your experiences and say that I want to try this, so that the product layer experience is only amazing, right? Can we build a reward system to tell the, okay, like third thing, if you want to build a toy, I told you rewards are not bad, but you have to use them logically. So can we build a reward system to tell the tourist to drop the location at the nearby designated place, which is easy for us to pick us as a company, right? Showing drop in and showing things like drop in calories, areas explored, some other points, and the customer will be amazed. It is something that Yandex does. Yandex is the Uber of Central Asia. I was in Kazakhstan, you knew guys, right? So we use Yandex there. Yandex basically पता क्या करता है? Yandex आपको बोलता है कि if you take like a bike from them, put it in a nice place, they will give you some interesting information about you, that you burnt these many calories. These are the new areas which you can explore. They have no value from a booking experience perspective, that the customer who has just dropped the ride is going to book another ride, right? But just by the sheer intrinsic principle of playing it with the toy, they would always essentially go into the app ki, okay, I'm at a place, I just want to check out where is the next bike, or maybe I don't, right? But even if I'm checking out the next, where is the next bike, I'm going to know the next 5 places which I should visit. Now, is that like an amazing toy specific experience? While you're thinking about this principle, these things are coming to your head. These things are coming to your head. Wow, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? While you're thinking about building intrinsic motivations, right? You're consistently thinking about this. So the fourth principle of game design is that make fun toys and combine them into games. So it doesn't mean that you're building a game. It just means, can you make a toy? Right? यहाँ तक बात समझ में आई? I'll stop here. I'll take like a 2 minutes breather. ठीक है? And we will start again. इसके आगे वाला टॉपिक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है, जो बहुत मजेदार है.